So what's up, man? This is 9 to 5 Mac Overtime, episode number 47, I believe.
Ooh,
yeah,
we're almost at,
so we're getting
at 50.
half a century mark. Yeah.
That's crazy.
So, yeah, no, it's crazy, right? Like, we want to just, first of all, start off by saying thank you to all that are listening. Last episode had like almost 10,000 views, which
just
is
on YouTube.
Pretty incredible. Yeah, for a podcast, it's pretty cool. And then that's just on YouTube. Of course, we're also on Apple Podcasts. So if you are an Apple Podcast user, basically get podcasts anywhere, Spotify, whatever the case may be, you can listen to it there. And also leave a review if you have time. And whether or not you think it's a good show or a bad show, leave us a review.
We'll take it all.
We can improve. So, man, what's going on this week? What do you got planned this week, man?
Ooh, this is a fun one. I was saying right now or earlier how WWDC is like. What is that guy?
It's one of these guys.
Oh, the Velcro roll.
One of these Velcro. You could tell I've been trying to I'm doing this review right now, and I have like cables everywhere, and I've been trying to. I have these things everywhere, and they're just like I have them stuck in my.
That
head.
looked like a lav mic for a second.
I thought it was too. I'm like, I don't remember connecting a lav. Like, did I connect a lav? What? Okay,
That's
so
funny.
Sorry.
No, but no, yeah, I was saying, so like WWDC is like 3 weeks away. So right now it's like the calm before the storm. It's making us get a little creative when it comes to Apple content and Apple news and all that good stuff. So with that being said, I got my favorite widget video coming out this week, which should be done probably the first half of the week, which will be fun. I got some cool, interesting ones that I was able to find that are like aesthetically pleasing, but also functional. And I don't know about you, if you use widgets at all. If you use them on your phone, on your iPad, how you use them. But
I do from time to time. From time to time, I do use them. So, do you said your favorite widget, as in one singular widget, or is it
no, multiple?
Okay, say, man, that must be a pretty impressive widget.
Nah, to do it all.
Synopsis in one.
No, yeah. I mean, I think I picked like 10. You know, I tried a bunch of them, and we've had them. I've been trying them for like 4 or 5 years now because they were introduced iOS 14, I think. But yeah, and then I also avoided like the widget smiths of the world because those were more so like create your own, like get creative by yourself. I just wanted ones that were like productivity tools or like at a glance tools or just stuff that's kind of there for fun, you know?
Yeah.
So that's coming out soon, for sure.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that for sure because I do use some widgets. Usually they're more productivity focused and more automation focused. I like to do stuff with shortcuts and things like that, like tapping something and making stuff happen, like a Rube Goldberg machine.
Yeah.
So it's for sure. I'm looking forward to that video. So is that the only thing that you have on the docket, or you have anything else that you plan?
That and then probably iPadOS 18.5. You know,
right. Yeah,
we'll put that out because that should be coming out depending on when this comes out. It'll be this week. And then is that going to be the last major update until WWDC? For sure.
I would say yes. Like there could be an 18.6, but it usually stuff like that is like usually like a little bug fix or something. So I think this will be it for sure. Yeah.
No, absolutely. So that's what we got this week. What about you? What do you got?
So I have a gaggle. Is that a word? Gaggle? Is that
for sure?
Does that mean a lot? I don't know.
Yeah,
I have a lot. I'm working on. So I have a lot I'm working on. So Sonnet, I have their Mac Mini Cuff, which is a really cool little Mac Mini mounting solution, and it's very high quality. You know, some of those you can get off Amazon, and they work, but this one's very thoughtful. It's also focused on security as well. So that'll be going live, I believe, tomorrow. So the Mac Mini Cup. So if you're looking for a way to mount your M4 Mac Mini, this is probably one of the best ways to do so. So I haven't mounted.
By security, do you mean like physically secure it on? So like people can't just grab it and rip it out?
Yeah,
okay.
You can't grab it and go.
Yeah.
Like, so it secures, it screws into the bottom of a desk, or it can screw into the back of a monitor via the VESA mount. And there's a little lock, so you'll see it on the video. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, don't give too much away.
There's a lot of thoughtfulness with this thing. And the cool thing is it doesn't cut your hands. You know how you ever get those cheap metal things off Amazon? Yeah. And they're like, the way they're fabricated, they're like have sharp edges and stuff. And
it's like a way worse paper cut. Way worse paper cut.
Oh man,
yeah.
It's like one step from the ER paper cut.
Yeah.
So yeah, this has like, it's machined in a way that doesn't have rough edges, which is maybe not a feature, but it's like something I appreciate as someone who does stuff like this.
For sure.
And the Sonnet also has this guy right here. This is the Echo 13. Sorry, it's a little. Let me try to wipe it down.
Yeah, a little fingerprinty from the video, you know.
Little fingerprinty.
B-roll shots.
So this is the Sonnet. Oh, you can see our reflection there. The Echo 13 Thunderbolt 5 SSD Dock. Let me show you some little sneak preview.
Oh,
so
ooh, there's a fan
there is an
there. Okay.
NVMe SSD right here with the heatsink. It's a 2 terabyte version. It goes up to 4 terabytes. This thing is actually really cool. It can do some, Thunderbolt 5, if you have the need for it, if you have...
Lightning quick.
It's insanely fast. And it's like you literally drag and drop like a 10 gigabyte file and it's like done like that.
That's wild.
So that's one of the benefits. It's also, I'll talk about it in the review. So you'll just see it. See it tomorrow, more than likely. And then, not to
like
be
he said, a gaggle.
A
gaggle of things.
2 reviews from, actually no, two reviews from CalDigit as well.
Oh, 2.
CalDigit, they also make docks and things of that nature. They have a Thunderbolt 5 solution. The let me see if I have it here. Give me 1 second.
Yeah. No, my main hub is the TS5 Plus, or Thunderbolt 4 dock, you know? Uh-huh. That's my favorite one. I still have it. I have it right in front of me. I've used it since it came out. Yeah, it's my favorite Thunderbolt dock for sure. It's got everything that I would ever need.
It's a good one. Yeah, it's a good one. This is the Element 5 hub.
Okay.
This is actually the previous version of this is one that I use it was like one of my main sort of interfaces, just because it was so small and it can fit on the back of my desk.
That one's purely
this is Thunderbolt 5
right?
as well. Thunderbolt 5.
Yeah.
Actually, no. It will work with USB-C too. That's another benefit of it.
Okay.
So that's pretty cool. So you can plug it into those front ports on your Mac Mini. So I'll talk about that in the full review coming this week as well. Hey,
nice.
But you mentioned your favorite.
What do you got? Ooh, the sneak peek. Oh, the TS5 Plus. Dang, that's
I'm not gonna talk about that, right?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna talk about that right now. We're gonna keep it on the low, but it's coming.
Okay.
That wasn't exciting. The TS5, by the way. That wasn't the TS5.
Yeah. Okay. Thank goodness.
So those are some things we're working on, and along with other stuff, I finally cracked my Mac Mini open, getting that storage upgrade. But I'm doing a tutorial to where it breaks down every step because it's pretty. I won't say it's super intense, but there's a lot of little steps you have to do to upgrade your Mac Mini storage. So I do have a video coming that this week too. So I think that's 5 videos, 5 hardware reviews, which is kind of crazy. But again, it is slow from a software perspective. So,
so might as well. This is the time. Yeah. Now, real quick with that that SSD swap, is it lots of little steps physically, like little screws you got to take into account and things like that?
You do have to tear down basically the entire Mac Mini. It's pretty. It's not hard, but it does take a little time to tear down. It's not difficult, but there are also steps as far as like restoring the SSD and doing all of that. That's kind of can get a little intense, but it's still a very easy process. So looking forward to showing you guys that too.
And if anybody can explain it, it's gonna be Jeff. And if I can watch that video and do it, then anybody can. For sure.
I don't know about that. We'll see.
Yeah.
Let us know. Is there anything in particular you guys would want to see us talk about or do or explain or review, for instance? Let us know down below in the comment section. We read the comments, like for real. Like I read every comment sometimes to my own peril. to my own peril, I do read the comments, and sometimes they're very nice, and sometimes they're not very nice. But I do read them, and
for sure.
So I appreciate your feedback there, and I know Fernando reads them too. So
yeah, and that's how I try to answer all of them, or leave at least a heart so people are aware that we're reading them. So shout out to everybody that's always commenting.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And so last week we talked about iPad a little bit. I kind of wanted this episode to be a little bit in that focus as well. I know Fernando, he's
Don't
the
tell me it was a
iPad
good time.
king. He's the iPad king over here, and he's been using the iPad as his main computer for a very long time. So one of the things I wanted to ask you, and I know we've talked about this in the past, but it's been a while.
Okay.
Are there 3 peripherals or 3 iPad accessories that you feel like are a must-have to get your work done? Like seriously, like these are things that you absolutely must have for your iPad.
Okay. That's for sure. I mean, there definitely are, right? So the first one, this could be a cop out or whatever, but Magic Keyboard, right? I know it's expensive. I know that $350 is the price of an entry level iPad nowadays. And if you do want a secondary alternative, the only other true one-to-one, it's not even a competitor, but one that gives you the same trackpad experience, I think is the Logitech Slim Folio case, because they use pin connectors and they use the first-party licensing that Apple gave them. That's the only other one. All the other ones that you see online rely on Bluetooth, and it's a toss-up with those, right? So if you do want to save a little money, go with that one. But the Magic Keyboard for me and the trackpad experience there is a must, the way that I use my iPad. Because again, I use it as a laptop for the most part. And then also just allows you to be a little bit more versatile. It looks great. You can just rip it off with the magnets, use it as a tablet if you want to. And the new one feels very premium with the aluminum finish. Makes it feel like a MacBook
I got it
Pro.
right here, man. Yeah.
So
it's a
great
good.
keyboard.
Now, only complaint I have is just and it just doesn't hold up that well on the external. Like I have like little, like where I haven't even hit it that hard against stuff, and it just like puts a big gash in my keyboard.
I guess I might have some nicks, but mine is I got it like in the black space gray colorway, whatever they call it nowadays. So it's less visible. It's less. I mean, yours looks cooler. I think the white looks cleaner if you can keep it clean.
Yeah, I wipe this thing down like daily, man, and it's just like it's a chore, especially the external part of it. But I will say that generally speaking, this thing holds up pretty well. Like,
yeah,
I use this quite a bit. I mean, it has dings on the aluminum and stuff, but it's pretty good. How's yours holding up? Let me see it.
Let's see this thing. So again, I got the black one, so you can see the smudging kind of back here from over time. But
yeah, I think that will looks better, man. Honestly, nice. I think it looks better.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so.
You see?
Yeah, I think I like that better.
If you can see
especially with the space, because you got a space gray iPad, right?
Yeah. I had to go with the color match this time around. You know, the white is always so tempting to me. I don't know why, but I think the black one is a nice look, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the Magic Keyboard definitely there. If you're getting an iPad Pro, you're already spending the money to be at the high end, at the premium. Go with the full experience, in my opinion, if you can. Function row is great. I'm glad they added it. I wasn't a big user of it to begin with, but glad they added it, and I do use it now. And then just I always tell people, because is it for the cantilever design? Is it just to make it look cool? Some people are like, is it really useful that way? I like it because it does bring the iPad just that much closer to you versus a laptop when you open it at that hinge. Because the way that I use my iPad is right hand on the trackpad, left kind of like thumb, almost on the screen. So I have like 2 input methods on there. And then when I'm using the keyboard, obviously both hands. But so that's my number one over the Apple Pencil, night and day for me, at least.
For sure. Yeah. Like if there's one accessory that I would have to recommend, and unfortunately it is the most expensive accessory, it is, let me see, someone calling me. It is that because it is just so useful to be able to just plop your iPad there and to start using it. Now, with that being said, let's talk about, so that's both our number ones. I think we both agree
that's an easy one.
The number 2 for me, it's going to be, it's one that I've talked about before, and it's going to be kind of, I don't think a lot of people are going to agree. You're not going to agree. I know that.
Okay, let's hear it. The Slim? Just a folio case?
Yeah. Like,
Okay.
dude, you don't always want a keyboard. I've talked about this before. Like,
Yeah.
you sometimes, I mean, look how slim that is. Look how slim and trim that is. You just go with it. It's not as heavy, not nearly as heavy. Sometimes you just want the iPad experience. You don't want to have this keyboard attached to it all the time. And you can get third-party versions of this perfectly fine, and they work just as great. So go with the third party. In my opinion, I wouldn't go with the Apple's version, but just the idea of having a protector like this on both sides that you don't have to have the keyboard on when you don't need the keyboard. And I don't always need the keyboard. So it's to me, that's something that I use. It's indispensable. I use it all the time.
So you said that's the Apple one, right?
This is the Apple one, but you can.
Okay.
I would go third party for sure. Like on this because that doesn't matter. It's just plastic, and
Is that so? The Apple one, because I don't have the Apple one. I actually have a third party one. But that's the one. Does it have unlimited viewing angles? They kind of changed the way that they made it, right? Or am I making that up?
Yeah. So it has more viewing angles. Trying to think of. Let's see. Yeah.
Right, because it slides this time around.
It slides. It's kind of weird because it does like lock into place on one of the angles, but it can slide between the highest angle and the lowest angle, right?
Okay.
So it does adjust, and I don't know if the third party ones do that. Some of them may, but yeah.
Most of the third party ones that I've tested out, and I have one. I think I got one from like ESR for like $12 or something. I would say it gets you 90% of the experience. Right, it definitely, you can tell that the material is a little different, and probably not as high quality. You normally in these third-party ones, you get the flap that goes over to cover the Apple Pencil, and then you normally have one viewing angle. So
right.
So if those things are worth it to you, then yeah, save the money, in my opinion.
Yeah. So what would be your second?
So my second, I'm trying to think. I don't want to just do another easy one and do the Apple Pencil because I do use the Apple Pencil, but I'm not gonna say I can use my finger for the stuff that I use it for. But I'm trying to think. Because I also use an SSD. The main three things that are always on my iPad are Magic Keyboard, Apple Pencil, and then an SSD. Right? So with the way that I use my iPad, I need the external storage. I don't like to have much on my iPad, even though I have the 1 terabyte version. So I guess since we're keeping it for me, we'll go with an SSD. I either have my T9 or my Lexar SL500, and those are, I believe, USB 3.0 SSDs.
Sounds like a Toyota car.
The SL500, yeah, or Mercedes maybe SL500
Lexus,
AMG, But yeah, so like everything that I make for the YouTube channel, everything that I record is on SSDs. I keep nothing on the iPad. I used to do that, but then it would just be like what's it called? Storage management gymnastics that I would have to play like once every 3 months. So now everything is off
explain this to me, because that's a weird take. I have to admit, like,
okay,
it's weird because the benefit of the iPad, right, is that it's its own self-contained device that does everything. Right? It has built-in internet. It has built-in, just everything. It does everything. It has the storage. And it can go up to 2 terabytes of storage. So why would you want to juggle a external drive on a device like this? Explain that to me.
Great question. So for me, it's mostly about being able to. So for instance, if you want to keep everything on your iPad, and you're now using LumaFusion a little bit, right? So if you record your footage on your camera, how do you get it to the iPad?
If I record my footage on the camera, how do I get it to the iPad? I use like either, and then I'm trying to transfer the video. I just use like a little dongle, like this little guy right here.
Okay.
Just
and then
something like that. And just with
you
the
import
SD
it
card
directly into the file system?
Yep.
Interesting.
I have a shortcut. I have a shortcut in the Files app that as soon as you plug in the the micro SD card or the SD card, it pops up. So it only shows there whenever there's an SD card mounted. And then I just tap that and I find the file and I just drag it over to my working area.
And then when you're done with those files, do you just delete them or offload them to an external storage solution or what?
I'll just delete them if I don't need them anymore. But I'm
Okay.
kind of in the transitionary period with the iPad in that regard because I'm just starting to edit the videos on LumaFusion with the iPad, like seriously.
Yeah.
So I'm still kind of in a transition period with that. But yeah, I'd probably just delete them, to be honest
Okay.
with you, and just save the actual final exported file and then just have that as archival footage.
Okay. So to give you some context as to why I do it the way I do it is, so for the longest time, yes, I have the 1 TB version now, but for every iPad before that, it was always the baseline storage one, right?
Right.
So always 128 gigs. I think at one point it was 256, but I would run out of storage very quickly because I would have the original file and then LumaFusion would have their own redundant file in the project. So then every like 2 months, I would completely delete LumaFusion and then reinstall it to get rid of all the data in LumaFusion.
But can't you just... So, interesting.
There was a way to clean out the data. So you do clean, I think you like clear the cache or something in there to really get rid of a good amount of it. But no, there would be times where like I would have not enough space at all. So I would just like delete everything. And then LumaFusion brought out external storage support a couple years ago. And then that's when I moved everything off onto an SSD because I'll record everything on my iPhone directly onto the SSD from a Blackmagic camera app. And then from the SSD, I'd literally just plug it into my iPad and then I'm working. And as of right now,
that makes a lot more sense. Yeah.
Right now everything's fast enough where I'm not waiting for things to load and nothing's really happening. So, and it's faster than, I used to rely on AirDrop a lot, and AirDrop is always hit or miss, even to 2025 standards. So when the iPhone got USB-C and the iPad got the SSD support with LumaFusion, that is my workflow now. It's just a lot easier for me to manage.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, that makes a lot of sense, honestly. Especially since you're just going directly to the SSD. There's no, everything's on your SSD from the beginning, right? So it's like it doesn't make sense to do that. You might as well just keep it there. And I think there is some argument to be made that using external storage, you can be a little bit more organized, I guess you could say, a little bit.
Yeah. I try to keep it very organized in there. But I could also see your side where things will be faster, it'll be snappier. I have 1 TB on the iPad. Why not use it since it's there? So, maybe we'll do that at one point and kind of put everything on there. Because it's true, I have like 800 gigs of open storage. Easy.
Oh, yeah. So, like, that's the thing. Like, all right, say, for instance, you were traveling and you were going to say, hey, I want to edit this video while I'm on the plane.
Mm-hmm.
In that case, I would probably just dump everything over to the internal storage. And that way you wouldn't have to worry about connecting. Because the thing about connecting a USB like drive is there's only one USB port on the iPad.
Mm-hmm.
So if that drive is connected, you either have to wait and unplug it and then plug whatever else in, or use another dongle to have as a hub, right? So to me, I like to keep that port free if I can, and when I need it, then use that. But
there's one instance where that does get in the way for me. That it's happened a couple times recently. It's when I want to do voiceovers. So when I plug in, I'm working off my SSD. I have all my footage edited, and I want to do a voiceover. I would love to just be able to plug in my USB-C mic while also having my SSD plugged in without having to get a dongle. Or what I have been doing, because voice memos work so fast in the cloud, I'll do my voiceover in voice memos. And then by the time I press done on voice memos on my phone, it's on my iPad voice memos. And I just drag and drop into the file system.
So you do that voiceover and voice memos with an external microphone as well?
Yeah, so I do the voice memos. I do the voiceover on the voice memos app on my iPhone with my USB-C mic plugged into the iPhone.
Okay.
Yeah. And then it syncs via iCloud to my iPad. Because it's such a small file set.
Working in 2025 it's like...
Hey, different ways to skin the cat, as they say.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we all get the same X4, you know?
That's true. So with that being said, so those are your top two. So one more. Man, that last one is hard because I use quite a bit of different accessories for the iPad. I use the Rode microphone Wireless Pro, which is great. It's a great microphone. I could do voiceovers wirelessly with that.
That's nice.
So that's one. But there's also the Rodecaster Duo, which is like a whole console. That's the same thing that we used at the coffee shop in New York.
Oh, okay.
So that's pretty handy. Cool. But then there's also the Shure. The Shure has a pair of USB-C headphones that are really good. Yeah, and I like connecting those directly to the iPad when I want like that really good sound quality.
Yeah. So
that's cool.
Interesting. Okay.
So that's kind of a cop out.
Yeah.
So I need to pick one, right?
Yeah.
Let's see.
And I'm also trying to think of not another Apple product, you know?
Yeah, AirPods are the obvious. Yeah, that's a cop out. I would
say
Do you
use the Apple Pencil?
Dude, I've been looking for my Apple Pencil. I can't find it. I can't find it. And even though it has Find My built in, like when I go to search, it's like can't be found.
Yeah, I think it's dead.
I'm so bummed about that.
Fair. Yeah, I mean, I use it from time to time. But no, tell me your third.
Man, my third. I guess it would have to be... Man. I would say it has to be the Rode Wireless Pro. Like, because let me show you that. Like how I did that, don't you?
Yeah, right.
So this is the Rode Wireless Pro.
Okay.
So it's got this case. This is a charging case. So you stick the little microphones in there. Here's one of the microphones that has 2 mics built in. It's a little large. I will say it's a little large, but the sound quality is amazing. And this just clips to your shirt or whatever, but you can also connect a lav to it and just have a lav running from this to that. But the cool thing about this is that you get this little transmitter, and this transmitter connects to your iPad with USB-C. So
nice.
Then you have wireless microphone. You can do wireless. I can do it like this, and it like the sound quality is really good.
Yeah.
So I just have this connected to my iPad, and it immediately is ready to go.
That's
so I can just start voiceover. The cool thing, there's 2 of them. So I can have someone mic'd up.
You can do like
interviews or whatever the case with the iPhone or with the iPad. But this is really cool for the iPad, especially if you're on the go and you want to just knock out a quick voiceover. That does a good job. So that would be my third.
Okay. Can I go with software for my third?
Nope.
Ugh, you're killing me.
Because that was the case, I would have been done going.
I guess it's crazy. I guess now that I'm thinking about it, I keep my iPad pretty bare bones. So I guess I gotta go with the Apple Pencil Pro. Because I use it every day. I just don't use it as like an artist. So I use Affinity Photo for the thumbnails. And I've tried to use Affinity Photo just the way you would use Photoshop on a laptop with the trackpad and keyboard. And you just get way more granular with the pinch to zoom and then the Apple Pencil. Like being able to take the iPad off, put it down as like a piece of paper, get on there, and then like be able to erase what you need to erase. You know, make it larger, make it smaller, add new photos, change layers, be able to group stuff together. It just makes it easy. The Apple Pencil does make it a lot easier. And then I do use a squeeze shortcut to switch between tools. I don't know if you do. Well, I guess you lost your Apple Pencil, but
yeah, I don't like. I do, and virtually or.
Yeah. So like I squeeze this thing all the time. It's satisfying. The haptics have been awesome. It was a good successor to the Apple Pencil 2. It's a shame with all the compatibility stuff across all the different iPads. Also, excuse the garbage truck right now, but
that's all right.
I don't know if you can hear
Mondays are garbage days, man.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for that.
Yeah. Right?
So like, here's the thing.
Tell me.
And you just brought this up, and this is really... All right, so yesterday I was like, oh, I found my Apple Pencil.
Add a little number 2 on it, and you're like, it's not working.
I found my Apple Pencil, and I said, I bet this isn't the right one. So, like, you know how you just put it on the little charging area, and it just doesn't quite match up? And, yeah, that was the kid. I'm like, man, this isn't even the one. So,
It's a
Yeah,
shame.
I'm still looking for it. Last time it was like stuck to the side of a desk, like in like a corner of it, and you couldn't see it. It blended completely in, and it was
And it was
there
just like
for like
magnetically
months.
attached.
Yeah, and I had no idea that it was there. So it's, yeah, I feel like if you lose an Apple Pencil, man, it's one of those things that's really, really hard to find. Even with the Find My support, like if it's not charged or I
That's
don't
just
know
not gonna
why
work,
the
yeah.
Find My isn't working on my, but it says like location cannot be found. So I don't know.
I guess you just got to go another $130, you know? Or
I
you
don't know
get a
about that, man.
USB-C Apple Pencil. So they say.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but
Anyway.
I definitely like the Pencil Pro. You know, it is one thing where like if I do lose it, I don't think I would get it again. But I do like that I have it. It's been a nice little addition. It's usually always on my my iPad charging, so or on the bottom of my backpack because it fell off. But no, yeah, Apple Pencil Pro for sure.
Yeah. So maybe next time we can talk about software, but there is one little piece of software, and that's Logic Pro, where when you want to, because I do like the voiceovers in Logic Pro a lot of times,
Okay.
and when you want to split a clip, there is no keyboard shortcut to split the clip. The only thing you can do is either touch on
Command
it.
B?
There's no splitting clip function
What?
in Logic Pro. It doesn't make any sense. Like,
That's weird.
why is there not a keyboard shortcut?
Mm-hmm.
But then, like, you look in it, and they're really trying to make you use the Apple Pencil to do the splits. So it's like, I can't really do the splits efficiently without the pencil. And I'm like, that's one of the reasons I was looking for my pencil, because I'm like, I want to split these clips.
Yeah.
And so hopefully their update in the next Logic Pro update will include that. So, I mean, of all keyboard shortcuts, like, that's the most basic one, I would think.
That's the one I think I'll use, like, yeah, the clipping one the most. Yeah, it's just Command B, right? And LumaFusion?
Yeah.
Yeah, Command B
it's
and then copy
ridiculous.
paste. Those are the ones that I use.
Yeah.
100%. But yeah,
So,
okay.
Anyway.
So I guess I was pretty
So-
basic and stuck to all the first party accessories. And
It is.
SSD.
Yeah, but we could talk about some other thing, more obscure stuff later. I like that Roadcaster I was telling you about, because the Roadcaster actually do have a video, like, believe it or not, for
Reviewing
that. I have a full on list of, I think it's like 15 different things that this thing can do for the iPad, or 15 different reasons why you would want to use the Roadcaster Duo as a Apple user. And there's like, it does some ridiculous things, dude. Like, for real. So I can't wait to show you guys that. Yeah, it's crazy. Like, it's really nuts. Probably the most versatile piece of third-party hardware that I own right now.
And the Rodecaster, the mic or like the interface?
The interface, the Rodecaster Duo. There's also a Pro version as well, but they're basically the same. The Pro version just has a few more sliders and a few more smart pads, but they basically work the same. But it's such an incredible, versatile piece of equipment. It's crazy. Like, it's just nuts. All the things you can do with it.
I want to see that video to see if it'd be worth it to add, you know? And are you using it with the iPad? I guess with Logic Pro, right?
So here's the cool thing about it. It has two USB ports. So you can have both of them connected. You can have your computer and another computer or an iPad connected simultaneously.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure you can also have like kind of like expand the physical buttons with the iPad, add like a ton of virtual like sliders and EQs and
so it has
like
virtual sliders built into the interface itself.
Okay.
But then it has manual sliders as well.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing. It also works with this guy. So you don't you can use this directly to that at the same time. It's pretty neat, man.
Okay. Add it to the gaggle.
Yeah.
The word of the day.
Add it to the gaggle. I don't know about this week, maybe, but
yeah,
I got a lot of work to do, so we better get off here.
No, yeah, let's do it. But I mean, iPad. First, I just want to say one thing. Very happy that you're joining the iPad world, the iPad lifestyle. You know, there's very few of us, but more and more coming, as we can see. And hopefully WWDC does give us the more pro level, whatever that means at the end of the day. I remember they promised that like iPadOS 17 to like be able to like customize your top bar of like the Notes application. Remember that? Or like different applications, and that was kind of like a wash.
I do remember that. Yeah.
Right?
Speaking of which, all right, so really, really briefly, because I don't want to take up a lot of time, but we talked about last week how it'd be cool if you could have a Mac app, like just a app to launch into Mac OS
Yeah.
on the iPad. And I was thinking about that, and so I decided, hey, let me just try to see what virtual like VNC solutions are out there. So I've been using what's called Jump Desktop.
Yeah.
And it's actually pretty good. Like, it's not perfect, but it does allow you to easily connect to your Mac. I have a Mac Mini, so it's always on. So I can be anywhere and quickly access my Mac. So that's one solution. If you're looking for something like that, then
How much is that?
Jump
How much is that
Desktop
one,
is
yeah?
a good one. I think it was $15.
A month or total?
Period. One-time purchase.
Yeah. Yeah. See,
So
I had downloaded this one before for sure.
it's actually pretty good. So I can use that to connect to my Mac and to launch, to basically use your Mac, even all the music and everything, the sound comes through. It's pretty good, man.
I might give it a go because there are, especially on the go. I remember, last little bit when I did you take my iPad wherever I go. We were in Florida for 10 days, so I was working off my iPad, and there were just a couple of things that wouldn't load correctly in Safari or in Chrome, and it would have just been easier to just pull it up on my Mac, do whatever I needed to do, and then go back to my iPad. So I think this is those 10% occasions where you do need to go Mac OS. This could be a way for sure. Because my Mac Mini stays on at all times.
Exactly. That's the thing. It's like, especially if you have a Mac Mini, and I have a high speed upload, 2 gigabit. Sorry.
Yeah.
2 gigabit internet speed. So like that's no problem like interfacing between these two devices.
Okay.
So
could be another video to be made.
Yeah. I have one more thing I was going to talk about, but I'll save it for next time because it's another software thing, but I found that was pretty cool. We'll talk about it in the next episode.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what we call a cliffhanger.
Yep.